And welcome back right here on Daybreak. So, like we said, on Tuesdays, we do a little bit of fitness, and of course, most important part is nutrition. You know what they say, that 80% of the body is built in the kitchen and 20% is built in the gym or in the workout stage, such as this one. So we want to delve right into that and allow you to introduce yourself, good sir.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes.
My name is Felix Okot Odero. I'm a clinical nutritionist.
Yes.
I work at Mata Austral.
Okay.
So in nutrition is generally what we do. We advise people on general types of food that they need to use or eat depending on your condition.
Okay.
So for a normal person, we will just advise you on a type of food that you should eat for a balanced diet, just to enable your body function normally. But there are those who have ailments such as diabetes. We'll advise them on diet and diabetic. Those who have hypertension, we'll advise them on diet and hypertension. Those who have kidney disease, mothers who have children 6 months, they want to start feeding this child. They don't know what to start giving, we advise them. Pregnant mothers, they don't know what they should eat. Maybe they have sugar issues, we also advise them on that.
Okay.
People having arthritis and several other ailments also, nutrition and sports. Those who want to lose weight, those who want to gain weight, and many more, nutrition and cancer, now COVID and nutrition and immunity, and so many things.
Yes.
So there is a variety of things that we do. So advice is part of it. But you get, an advice just help you change a certain behavior that you have, depending on your health issues. But now if you're having an ailment or you're overweight or you are underweight, you get people will tell me, Felix, give me a diet for losing weight, or give me a diet for gaining weight, or give me a diabetic diet. My dad is as diabetic, give me. But remember, each and every individual is completely different. If you look at yourself, your body size and my body size is different.
Right.
Your work and the work of those people doing exercise that have just come here are different. They use a lot of energy in whatever they're doing, but your work is sitting. So if I was to give you a diabetic diet, I won't give you a similar diabetic diet similar to that person doing exercise, because your energy expenditure is completely different. So each and every individual requires a nutrition advice or nutrition consultation or a balanced diet depending on your energy expenditure or type of work or type of ailment that you have. So it's completely different, it's individualized.
Okay.
Yes.
And when people want to, I guess maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, but most people come to you say they want to lose weight.
Yes.
I think one day we'll also talk about people who want to gain weight, because I think they're a group that is neglected.
Yes.
And when you tell somebody you want to gain weight, it's almost as if it is taboo, you know. But let's talk about that, because I guess it's the majority. For people who want to lose weight, so many things, and you've talked about a balanced diet.
Yes.
But most people who want to do that, they say, number one, cut sugar. Number two, cut carbs. So, and looking at our society, chapati, ugali, people talk about things like gluten. So, what is the right way to do it? Do you cut, are you supposed to cut anything out completely? Okay. Like, let's say, now I no longer do carbs.
Okay. Let me give the best advice. And why, can you ask yourself a question? In 1990s, we didn't have much of the lifestyle diseases.
Yes.
But in early 20s, 2020, 2019 and above, we have so many lifestyle diseases. Right. And what is happening? People have changed their lifestyle. Lifestyle plays a very much role in our health. I will say, if people were to change lifestyle, if government were to invest on nutrition, is to educate people, actually education, then they will really cut down on the expenditure on health. Because people will be educated, and even people won't go to the hospital. Because let's talk of most of the lifestyle diseases. I'll answer your question.
Yes, no problem.
Let's talk of diabetic, cancer, hypertension, or even the gut diseases. Let's say H. pylori, gastritis. For you to get any gut disease, you have to ingest a bacteria. So what if you are educated on hygiene, of food hygiene and handling food, you won't get a bacteria. And that's why you get during COVID-19, because people are washing hands, not very many people admitted in the hospital due to gastritis or children admitted, because people are looking on hygiene. Now on diabetic and all the rest cancer, if you know the right nutrition for yourself, then there is no way you lead yourself to diabetes. And what I advise, like obesity now you have asked, most people are now obese not because of what they're eating now, but it's much aggregated what the mother ate when the mother was pregnant. This baby, maybe the mother had sugar issues. The baby was born already overweight. Then after that, the mother started giving food earlier or giving nutrients to the baby, which is in excess. Now, what happens, or even at 6 months, starting giving foods which are not necessary for the child. Okay. What will happen when you give...
So this is when weaning?
Yes, when weaning.
Okay.
If you give excessive of protein, or even the starch, you start giving sugar at 6 months. You are overworking in the pancreas of this child. You've started overworking at a tender age. When this child becomes an adult, also with poor lifestyle, diabetes comes in. Now, too much of protein during starting years, too much amino acid leads to fat cells multiplication. Now the fat cells have started multiplying at a very tender age. Remember, at around 1 year, this child now will start playing, now will burn some weight. But when the child reaches a teenage, now those poor lifestyles, whereby you are being influenced to eat something, sweet cakes and everything.
Yes, finishing bread, mzima,
yes, in town. So remember, the fat cells had already multiplied.
Yes, at the early stage.
At early stage.
Yes.
Now, when you eat fatty food, they just get where to get in. Now, this is a child, when they become obese, even if you take them to which gym, it will be difficult to lose this weight because you can burn fat, but you can't remove the cells. Now, whatever happened to a normal person, for you to lose weight, apart, genetics also play a part, but you can reduce weight.
So genetics is what? If you're generally...
Let's say my father is big, my mother is big, we can always be big. But what I say, when you go to measure your weight, people always go for the BMI.
Right.
But I will say for African, BMI is not much correlated to us, or even to Americans, because I will do BMI. Let's say I'm going to the gym today, like I am. I'm going to the gym. In 5 months later, I'll be so huge, right? So you won't expect my BMI.
In terms of muscle.
Yes, my muscles will be so big. So if I go measure my weight, if I was 70, I'll be 90. But doesn't mean I'm overweight. So if it's someone who is not informed, we'll tell you are obese. But it's just the muscles. So nowadays, we check on the visceral fat. These are body tissues or lean body tissues without muscles. So that either the tummy, we check the waist circumference, and we say for men, check your waist circumference, because when you deposit fat, it goes to lean body tissues, whereby the belly is part of it. Then it goes to your general body system. So how will this come in? Is through excessive eating. So excessive eating of what? Energy-giving foods. Which ones are they? Carbohydrates, ugali, nduma, mchele. Even, yeah, people tell me I take brown. But even if you take too much brown food, it will still give you excess energy. That will excess energy, once you take it, the body will use what it wants. The rest will be stored as fat. So the more excess you store, the more fat is stored, the more obese you come. Now, how do you lose weight? Let's start from there.
Okay.
Like the question you ask now.
Yes.
We have known overweight and obesity come from excessive energy intake. Energy comes from starch or carbohydrates and fatty food. So one thing, limit the fatty food. Use healthy fats, such as liquid oil, right? Mostly from either sunflower or from, let's say, corn oil, olive oil. But sometimes olive oil is expensive. So it's not a must to use olive oil. You can use sunflower. And the most important thing, people say in moderation. But what is moderation? A normal person requires 40 to 60 grams of fat per day. That is 4 to 6 tablespoons of cooking oil per day. Any person who is checking on their weight requires 20 to 40 grams of fat per day, 2 to 4 tablespoons per day. So meaning I cook with 1 tablespoon at lunch and 1 at supper. But we use a family food. So I can use 1 tablespoon per person per meal. So I pour it in a container. If you are 2, I'll pour 2 tablespoons for lunch. So I can end up using less, but I don't surpass the 2. So avoid the deep fried food because they concentrate too much fatty food that will give you excess energy, build up your cholesterol, lead you to hypertension.
So you would maybe pancea.
Yes, things like that. The chips and all the rest. So I can still take chips because it's just potatoes. But I'll use maybe 3 potatoes because I don't want to overeat the starch in it. But what do? I put it in an oven and put even a teaspoon or lesser of some oil. It will still come chips. But I've not deep fried it to concentrate much oil.
So you bake it?
Yes. Then coming to starch is much of the portion. So there's starch that get in the system so fast and releases so much energy that the body won't require. These are called refined food. So the spaghettis, the pastas, and all those other things.
Noodles.
Yes, the noodles. I'm eating noodles for lunch. What are you doing? Putting much health risk to your system. And how much is a noodle?
What is it? 20 bob?
20 bob. Why
20,
can't you
30?
go buy potatoes for 20 bob and cook? You want fast food, and then you want a faster life, and then you risk lifestyle diseases.
Yes.
So refined food, and then we have refined sugars, the normal sugar.
Okay.
Some people take tea like 4 times in a day. How many teaspoons of sugar is that? I always tell people, if you want to lose weight, yes,
yeah.
If you want to lose weight, limit sugar as much as possible. Some will tell me I'm using honey. It's the same thing. It still has the same energy. So cut it down. If you're losing weight, 1 teaspoon in a cup of tea, just take a cup of tea in the morning. Then the other thing is how you spread your meals. Really matters, because you can't tell me you want to eat too much at night and you are going to sleep. What are you going to use it for? Unless unaota mtu anakukimbiza. Yeah? Seriously, what are you going to use it for? So we always say, like they say, breakfast as a king,
yes.
Lunch as a queen, and supper as a pauper. But I always say that is now as a version. But in nutrition, it depends with energy expenditure. So if you want to eat too much in the morning, and sometimes you're not going to be active, using this energy will not be easy for you. So I always say, because you're just waking up in the morning, right? You're not going to be very active. Mostly people are active during lunch hour, to be sincere, even you.
Yes.
So I would say take a good breakfast, but reduce your starch component. Even if you can just take fruits. Fruits still have carbohydrates and starch. You can take just some fruits, some vegetable salad, and a cup of milk, or half a cup of milk, low-fat milk if you're losing weight, or skimmed milk, just a cup. Because we also have a requirement of taking milk, very necessary for calcium for your bones, at least 2 cups a day, but lower the content of it. So do breakfast like that. Then lunch, let your starch component at lunch be roughly 20% of that plate, the starch component, and maybe the whole grain fat starch, because they will take time to get into the system.
So whole grain will be like which one?
Brown ugali,
okay.
Brown chapati, brown rice, even potatoes. You can even cook it with the coat, because you just wash it well, and then you boil it with the coat. When you eat it with the coat, the skin, it is fiber, it will keep you full. It will take longer time to release that energy, so you'll tend not get hungry. So 20% of your plate can be starch, 30% protein, because you still require protein, and then 50% should be vegetable, because they are going to fill the space that is remaining whereby you have reduced your meals, and then they'll keep you going for a longer time and preventing the release of this energy. Now, people go to intermittent fasting.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I want us to understand this.
Yeah.
People use intermittent fasting as a way of losing weight.
Okay.
So what is intermittent fasting? So intermittent fasting is just a general name of having different types of meal schedules that is highly directed for reduced energy intake. So we have 3 types of intermittent fasting. We have alternate intermittent fasting, and in alternate intermittent fasting is whereby you fast alternate days. I eat today on Monday, on Tuesday I fast. I eat on Wednesday, on Thursday I fast. So this is grouped into 2. We have to complete fasting, whereby on Wednesday, if I was not to eat, I don't eat completely.
The whole day?
The whole day I won't eat anything. Maybe I can just take water.
Okay.
Then we have modified.
When you say the whole day, it's hadi usiku, no breakfast, lunch, nothing.
Fast. Yes.
Wow.
So I'll eat on Monday, but fast on Tuesday.
Okay.
Then there is also a part of the alternate day fasting. We have modified fasting, and in modified fasting is whereby, let's say I was to fast on Wednesday, right? I ate I was to fast on Tuesday. I ate on Monday. So for the modified one, I'll only take 25% of my total energy requirement. Okay, only 25%.
Which is, how do you calculate?
Less now, and that's where people go wrong.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, you are doing intermittent fasting. Yeah. And fast Willis, you don't know your energy requirement.
Yes.
So you'll take 2 slices of bread, or let's say a potato and a cup of tea, and take some vegetable during the day, and the next day you fast. You don't know what this food, the amount of energy food is giving you for your normal day requirement for your function. So sometimes you will take up less. And when you take up less, what will happen to Willis Raburu? When you take up less, what will happen? The body requires energy. So it will start burning the stored fat for energy, right? Now, this is what leads to health risk due to intermittent fasting. When you burn fat for energy, yes, you lose weight very quickly. I was 100, you say I was 100, I'm now 40 kg or I'm 70.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, 3 years down the line, we'll land you in an hospital. You have lost weight, but we'll land you in an hospital. Why? You have done intermittent fasting, burn fat for energy, waste of fat for energy, is released by the body in something called ketones. Okay, waste of fat. Yes, yes.
Keto diet.
Keto diet. Yes, you get. Yes. So which is a fatty diet. Yeah. Okay. So waste of fat is released in the body as waste called ketones. Now these ketones, the body is trying to really release them. So it draws water from the cells. And what happens? The dehydration starts taking place because the cells are left without any water. Then the cells become acidic. So it's called ketoacidosis. Now these ketones, because releasing them takes a longer time and overwork your kidney, you can have acute kidney injury. Apart from that, when you are lacking energy, what happens? Because you don't know what you are supposed to eat, you have done intermittent fasting without seeing a nutritionist, what will happen to you? Your body will burn muscles for energy, right? Burning of muscles for energy lead to a waste called creatinine and urea. So creatinine levels become high in your urine. Ukipimwa urine, wanapata creatinine and urea are high.
What if, just for question, yes. Now ukipimwa urine, wanapata ketones? Yes,
that is high chances of what? Ketone breaking down due to either too much exercise or too much, and that's why we say exercise not exceeding 1 hour. Too much exercise or too much fat being broken down for energy because you are restricting too much. So in that scenario, you need to go to the hospital to get some fluid for washing up. Apart from that, we also have energy being released back stored from the cells because you're not taking any energy back to the bloodstream. This can affect your pancreas and lead you to diabetic. Now for women, intermittent fasting not planned, hormonal issues, different menstruals. Apart from that, iron levels going low, you have mood swings. As I continue, the other type, because I know we are also looking at time, yes. The other type of intermittent fasting is periodic fasting. It's also called 5-2 method, whereby you eat for 5 days, but for 2 days, you eat 25% of the total kilocalories.
So you're not fasting completely?
Not completely. Okay. You're taking 25% of the total calorie required or reducing your total calorie required by 500 or 700. And the last time is time-restricted fasting, also called 16 to 8 hour method.
Which is the most popular, I think.
Yes, 16 to 8 hour, whereby you will not eat for 16 hours. Let's say, kutoka jioni umelala up to around 10 or 11. Yes. Then you eat for 8 hours, but you still lower your energy to 25%. All these methods can work, and there are studies which support this. There is American Heart Association that said intermittent fasting may, they use the word may, not that it can, but may help prevent lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and all the rest, which was done in 2017. But there is another study of U.S. U.S. National Institute of Aging, which was done in 2018. And they say there is no much correlation to show that intermittent fasting can help in preventing these health risks unless you see a health provider such as a nutrition to advise you.
So just because I'm seeing here at the time, wow, I should do this again. So first of all, the first question, how do you find out what your intake should be, your energy intake should be?
Now this, one thing we have to do the BMI part.
Okay. Yes? Okay.
So let's say I am Willis. Let's say I'm 80 kgs. I've done my BMI. You will reach there. Yes. And how do we do BMI? It's just your current weight over your height in meters squared, because your height will never change. Okay. Then now we get, Willis is BMI is this way. So there is how we gauge BMI. When the BMI, when we are done that mathematics, your weight in height in meters squared, because I'll get maybe you are 170 centimeters. So I multiply 1.7 in meters times 1.7 divided by the weight now. Now after I get this, below 18.5 centimeters per kilogram per centimeters per meter squared, that is underweight. Now 18.5 to 24.9, that is normal weight. Now 25.1 to 29.9, that is overweight. Now 30.1 to 40 is obese. Now once I know that you're obese, then I'll know Willis, we need to reduce his calories. So there are ranges for calories reduction, okay? So for calories reduction, we'll use maybe 20 to 25% of your total kilocalorie. So I'll put 20% times the weight that you should be times 80, right? That is on the lower side.
So 80 being the ideal?
Yes, okay. Times 80. How do we get the ideal? Is height in meters squared times the normal BMI, which is 25. Then we'll get the the ideal body weight. So 20 the lowest times the ideal body weight, or 25 times the ideal body weight. But that doesn't make sense. That is just going to help you maintain. So the other method that we use is according to your activity level. So if a sports person, I do too much activity, then we do something called basal metabolic rate, the energy required when you are at rest. So we'll know that is how it's calculated. We multiply by whatever you should have. Then we'll get a calorie. Then after that, we'll use the activity factor now, whatever you do. If I'm working as a gym, how many times do I go to gym? 6 times a day, or twice a day, or I just sit as Willis? We'll use that activity factor. Then we'll know the energy required for that activity factor. Then after that energy, let's say we get it 2,000 kilocalorie per day. Then now we'll say for reduction, we use 20%. Of that 2,000 kilocalories, we'll get an answer. That is on the lower side. Or 25% times that kilocalorie, we get the calories you require, okay? Or we subtract 500. We say for any energy for reduction, you should not go lower than 500 for women and or 1,000 for men. Because if you go lower than that, then you'll be putting your body under pressure due to less calorie. So it's something that we calculate. Then now we calculate, when we get a total calorie, now we divide that calorie to become starch now. We get how much percentage of starch is in it. Okay. Then how much protein is it, how much fat. Then now we put it into serving. So breakfast, don't take more than this serving. Snack, this serving. Lunch, this serving. Supper, less of this. So that's something we work on. And then we'll go after months. So I make for you a diet with different meal portion depending on the foods that you eat. Because I can take githeri in the morning and you don't take githeri. So you'll tell me foods that you eat. We exclude the ones that you don't eat. And then after that, we make you a meal plan that is consistent with your calorie and also consistent with what you eat, the healthy foods. Then we divide it and we tell you, go use this for a month plus physical activity, because that alone will not help you lose weight, because you need to burn whatever you have stored for the time, because you didn't just gain it a day. You need to burn, that restricts the excess. Then we tell you, come after a month. So after a month, we check your diet, wow, I've lost 2 kg, because we have also healthy weight loss regimes. Healthy weight loss, you should not lose more than 2 to 4 kg a month. If you lose more than 4 kg a month, let's say 10, then means you are straining so much. You are restricting so much, and trust me, you won't strain for life. And that's why you get someone has lost weight, but after 3 months, I'm again because that's a good diet plan. So we'll put your diet plan for 1 month, then you come for review, we control it as we go on, but foods that are available for you, but lower in calorie, that is not going to make you maintain or gain weight.
All right, man, the conversation is just getting more interesting, but unfortunately we are strapped for time. So, and we'll definitely have to invite you back at one time again. But for those who want to reach out to you, how can they get you to the socials, and where can they, you already said you're at Mata, how else can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so like I've said, my name is Felix Okoth. You can always get me from Monday to Friday at Mata Hostel, South B branch. Okay. Apart from that, you can also get me via my contact, which is 0713-521-560, or you can get me via my email address, fokoth@matakenya.com, fokoth@matakenya.com, or my personal email address, oderofelix79@gmail.com, or just text me via Facebook, Felix Lance at Facebook. Yes.
Man, it was quite enlightening to have you here. We'll definitely organize to have you back again. So many questions. I guess what we are learning, Pole people, is that there's so many myths out there, and if you want to get help, before you start anything, you know, it's always said that before you start going to the gym or before you start a diet, look and seek for some, help in terms of a doctor, a clinical nutritionist that kusaidia, because like Felix here said, you might be good in the beginning, but in the long run, what you're trying to avoid, you'll start paying much more money in health. So better pay for consultation now, get the right thing, and do it well. But in all, we pray that we become a healthier nation. That's why we do this every day, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, rather, fitness, health, and lifestyle. And we hope that you've been enlightened. If ever you want to get in touch with anybody that you've seen us on this show, and maybe you're just tuned in, you didn't get to hear Felix's contacts, you can always reach out to us on our Citizen TV Kenya or my personal page at Willis Raburu, and we're going to be able to connect you to them because we want you to be healthier. So that hakuna haja mpige kelele BBI nini ni mzuri sawa, mimi sitasema kama ni mzuri ama mbaya, but utapiga kura kama umekufa hauwezi. So stay healthy fast, and then you can do everything else and make money. Whether you are BBIing or you're hustling, utakuwa healthy. Mungu akuwe na wewe, tuonane.